It's 10:10 from my console here, and we have to get started as of now. Without wasting my time, again, I officially welcome everybody in the house. Today marking 3rd October, of course, 3rd of October, 2020. We have a very important topic to treat today. I'm sure my visual is synchronizing now, and then I'm sure you can hear me. If you can hear my voice, you can just type yes in the chat box for me to be very sure that my voice is audible. If you can hear me, you can just type yes in the chat box for me to be very sure that my voice is audible. If you can hear me. All right. Thank you so much, Michael Agbagwa. Thank you so much, Mr. Opoku Israel. Thank you so much, Akar. Thank you, Madam Paulina. It means my voice is synchronizing properly. And I'm sure my video not so, super, but you're going to manage it through. I officially welcome all of you. And of course, I think we have enough participants in the house now. I pray so hard that the connection will allow us to have a smooth lectures. Definitely permit me to thank the Almighty God for being very protective till now, and of course, without him, definitely this will not be possible. We are most grateful to him every time we connect here, that he has given us the strength, the grace for us to connect wherever we are and broaden our scope in all the needed topics. Again, I pray that you will be with us from now till the end of the session. This I ask in Jesus' name with thanksgiving. If you believe that, just type amen in the chat box. You can just type amen in the chat box for me to be very sure that you're sharing similar faith with me, even if not the same faith. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ormsby, for your first amen. That is very much encouraging. Right, folks, without wasting my time, we will be getting straight to business. And before we proceed, I'd like to once again welcome all of you for today's webinar. A very intriguing topic, very interesting topic. Of course, multiple intelligence for teachers. Some of you might be wondering, what is it about and all that. I'm sure we have a lot of our colleague teachers in the house, and myself, I'm also very eager to broaden my scope on today's topic. And without wasting much time, I'd like to thank all those who have connected. I'd like to thank all my colleagues and everybody. And of course, most importantly, our renowned resource person for making time for us for today's session. And at this point, I will be officially, introducing him for us to proceed, acknowledging all guests in the house. I have the honor, of course, to introduce briefly Dr. Meera, Dr. Meera Abhimanyu, connecting live from India. And let me be very sure that our voices are synchronizing properly. Before I try that, Dr. Meera, has been a renowned educationist in India. She has served in, diverse positions of education, including serving as a principal for a renowned institute in India as well. And of course, she has, now being on the field of education training for all, faculties and other different related educational fields. We are highly honored that she will be making time out of her busy schedule to share all this with us. Again, I will remind that let's try to, mute our, microphone so that we don't get too much, distractive, basically. Dr. Meera, you are most welcome to Ghana, if you can hear me. Dr. Meera, am I audible? Dr. Meera, if you can hear me, I would like to be sure if, you can hear me.
Yes. Am I audible?
You are audible. Dr. Meera, you're most welcome to Ghana.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. My pleasure and my privilege.
Dr. Meera.
An honor for me.
Aap kaise ho?
Yes. Bahut achhi ho. Wonderful. Thank you.
So, of course, we are also bahut acha hai in Ghana. And आपसे मिलकर बहुत बहुत खुशी हूँ, Dr. Meera.
शुक्रिया, मुझे भी बहुत खुशी है.
Daniel. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. Thank you so much. So without wasting my time, we are getting connected. And for those of you who might be a little bit lost there, I'm just welcoming Dr. Meera to Ghana and then, expressing how, grateful we are, for her having time for us to broaden our scope in today's topic. Without wasting my time, we are getting to business. And on behalf of the entire participants, I clear the floor for Dr. Meera to take over. Dr. Meera, I officially hand over to you to proceed with
Yes,
this
thank you.
intriguing topic so far as multiple intelligence is concerned. And remind me if you are done for me to make you the co-host so that your slide sharing will be much easier for you.
Oh, how do, can you make me the co-host?
Right away, please. And then, so I'm switching over now and I'm making you the co-host. So, and please don't forget to switch back to me when you are done, please. Definitely. So, you are now the host, Dr. Meera, and you have all the rights in terms of all screen sharings and others. Dr. Meera, over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, a very, very warm welcome to all for this session. I'm really excited and I'm so happy that I got this wonderful opportunity due to Mr. Edwin King and his team and the organization to be able to communicate with all the lovable teachers and educationists and maybe even psychologists or counselors or anybody who's in the area of handling children. It's really wonderful to be here with all of you. And I hope that all of you would have a good takeaway after the session, which is basically based on human potential. Since we all are in the same field and we all know that we are dealing with people, be it adults or children, it's all about brain potential and how we tap it, in our lives. So the topic is very similar to that, and that's why we are looking at multiple intelligence very closely today. So Mr. Edwin, shall we just, can I start? Shall we start?
Definitely, you can start. And
So welcoming each and every one of you.
I will
Yes.
appreciate if you can be a little bit more audible for us also, so that the voice will be all that.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Now is both a child. Now you're audible. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Better? It's better now?
It's much better. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'll just raise my volume a little bit. Yeah, okay.
But that's okay. Don't worry.
This is good? This is good. Okay.
It's good. This is good.
So, yes. Okay. So in between, I'm admitting, I think other a couple of people who are still coming in. So I'll just admit them.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'll do that. Yeah. So okay. So once again, a very, very good morning to all of you. And my side, it's 3:30 in the evening. And so we do have a difference of about 6 hours. And it's a pleasure for me and it's a privilege that I'm being able to be of service to all of you, probably for this next 1.5 hours. So let's interact, and I would be very happy if all of you use your chat boxes as far as possible. And if you are okay, I would also invite some of you to speak about your feedback and what you feel about each intelligence and about whatever you can share during the session. I would be most happy if many of you can actively participate. Okay, so without much ado, I'm going to share my screen to all of you. So just give me in the chat box if all of you can see the screen. Just a minute. Yeah, so Edwin, you can see the screen?
Yes, definitely. Yes, please.
Yes?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So today's topic basically is about multiple intelligences. And this is something that was discovered and that was research was done by Dr. Howard Gardner, who is basically a neuropsychologist. I would just like to know how many of you have heard about Howard Gardner and his research on multiple intelligences. Quickly, if all of you could just give me a feedback on by putting a chat message.
So please,
Yes.
if you've heard of Dr. Gardner's research, we can just type in maybe yes, we have or no.
Yeah, maybe just yes or no. Yeah, some of you have put in yes. No, some of you have put in a no. Yeah. So I think as educationists all over the world, Mr. Howard Gardner had researched this in 1983. But then, yes, it came into schools and it came into colleges and it came into institutions much later. In India itself, it has come into action only by 2000, 2008, 2009, like that. Okay, so this is just for a start. And why are we really looking at multiple intel? Why are we looking at this topic? Okay, being educationists, being counselors, or being teachers. So this is a small clipping that I want all of you to just look at and see what do you think about this clipping. So it's like a person is there on the table and he's looking at all the different animals and he's trying to give them a test. So for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. So I just want all of you to look at this. Okay, this is a small image of what Einstein wanted to actually say about all of us going through a very similar pattern of exam. So if all these animals were asked to climb the tree, who do you think would win? Who do you think would get first, or who do you think would rank first? Yes, anybody who would like to probably unmute and speak also is fine. What do you think about this clipping?
The monkey.
Yes?
The monkey.
The monkey. Yes, absolutely. So we all know very clearly that it's the monkey who's going to win. And so what does that mean? So this is exactly what happens to all of us, right? We are all human beings, that's the only difference, but we all have very, very different potentials. So just like each animal here has got a different potential and they are on the earth for a different purpose, just like that, we all human beings are not here for the same purpose. I'm sure you'll all resonate with me on this. And the reason why we are here is based on our potential. We need to be achieving and we need to be creating and contributing to the whole world. So this is exactly what Howard Gardner is trying to tell us. And this is a small clipping that would probably make you understand why it's so important. So this is a quote which I want you to really keep in mind. Everyone is a genius. We all are geniuses. All our children are geniuses. All the people we look around are actually a genius. How many of us can really say this? So the reason being, if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid, isn't it? So can all of you just look at this quote and tell me, how does it relate to us as educators, teachers, counselors, parents, management level people? If we consider actually everybody is a genius, but if you're going to judge each and every person or each and every child or each and every individual over just one category or one way of testing, okay, or looking at only one side of their intelligence, then even that child or even that person would feel that, you know, he's not worthwhile. I think many of us in our childhoods have felt somewhere or the other that I'm not worthwhile or I'm not good. And people are judging me and telling me that I'm not good. Okay, so this is what exactly happens to a fish if you're going to test its ability to climb a tree. A fish cannot climb a tree, right? It can only, in fact, if we asked it to swim, it would be first. So this is exactly what happens. Ella, yes, Ella has raised the hand. Very good. So this is exactly what happens to all of us, right? We're always judged in the wrong way. We are never judged based on our potential. We are never judged based on what we are interested in. We are never judged based on exactly what we are talented in. And many times we are not even aware what we are talented in, right? Yes, I'm sure all of you will agree with me. So let's take this forward. So there comes the concept of multiple intelligences. So multiple intelligences was discovered by none other than Howard Gardner. It's his picture that I just showed you a little earlier. And I would want no one to write anything because I can share this PPT with you. I would definitely share it with Mr. Edwin, and all of you can have it to review it, you know, as a takeaway, so that you can always keep looking at it and understanding it better. So today we are going to see an opportunity where this session is going to allow you to understand your potential and also understand the potential. Okay, I'm just admitting some more people. Many of them are joining in. So, yes.
Yes, please keep an eye on the console so that you can admit.
Yeah. There's so many people joining in, Edwin. I'm keeping on admitting them. Okay, good. So that's a very good response. I'm happy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Only that in between, I may have to just do this. Yes. So let's go to the topic directly. So this is exactly what we are going to get today. So in today's 1.5 hour session, we are going to see what are the different potentials that a human being can have, and how do we look at tapping these intelligences or potentials or talents in a human being by being an educator or by being a teacher or by being a good parent or by being a very effective counselor, for example. So in any walk of life, you will be interacting with a lot of people. You may be in a leadership position also. It's very important, therefore, for you to look at this concept in such a way that it will allow you to actually understand the potential of that person and allow that person to nourish or nurture their talents. So according to Howard Gardner, I'll just put an annotate. So according to Howard Gardner, there are actually 9 intelligences included in his theory. Now, which are the 9 intelligences? Yes. So all of you can just actually read with me. You need not unmute, but you can definitely read with me. So we have 9 intelligences that we look at, but normally it is 8 intelligences that we nurture in the classroom or wherever we are teaching students. But it's definitely important to know all the 9. So let's look at what are these talents or what are these intelligences present in the brain of a person that is waiting to be exposed and that is waiting to be realized. Once we know this, we can always look at our children from this perspective. So today you're going to get a complete new perspective about understanding being from the level of intelligence. So what is intelligence otherwise? Anybody like to tell me what is intelligence to you? How do you define intelligence? Any intelligence for that matter. In general, what do you call intelligence? Would anybody like to, Harrison, would you like to give your view on what's your concept of intelligence and what do you think is intelligence? Is it okay if I ask, I think I can see Harrison or Richard, anybody for that matter? Anybody would like to also put a chat message, it would be fine.
Please, we have a question on the floor. I think the question
yes,
is what is
I would request all of you to mute yourself so that it would be easier. Yes, the question is what is intelligence? Anybody can put your answer in the chat box, or you can just unmute and speak. Yes, 2 participants have raised their hand. Yes, anybody who's raised their hand can also speak. Yes, Ella?
Yeah, hello.
Ella? Yeah, Ella wants to speak.
Yeah, this is
Napoleon.
Hello?
Yes, Napoleon. Yes, Napoleon. Go ahead.
So intelligence, that simply means the ability to acquire and apply knowledge in particular.
Yeah, could you be a little louder? The ability to
acquire and apply knowledge.
Very right. The ability to acquire. Can everybody mute themselves other than Napoleon?
Yeah, Benjamin, can you please?
I would request all of you to just mute yourself other than Napoleon. Yes, so intelligence, that's right. Intelligence is basically the ability to solve problems, to understand life perspective. And did you say anything else? Solve problems in your life and also in any area in your life. Anything else?
Hello?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah? Yes, who's that?
Yeah, this Bismarck.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Bismarck. Yes,
Yeah.
Bismarck, you can tell me.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
I want to speak on intelligence.
Yes, it is ability to solve problems and understand things around us. Somebody,
Okay, I
I
want
think the
to
name
come
is
up with
not
my
there.
own definition too.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, Bismarck.
Intelligence for me, my understanding is what to acquire knowledge and apply it day in, day out.
Wonderful. It's to apply the knowledge, apply ourselves to the day-to-day life. Very
Yes.
good. So everybody can apply their knowledge. Everybody has the ability to solve problems, but it is from different
Yes.
levels, right? And those different levels is exactly what we're
Okay.
going to see today. So normally, in earlier days, we used to find out what is called as IQ. How many of you have heard of IQ? You can just raise your hand. How many of you have heard of IQ?
Yes, I heard it before.
Yes. So intelligence quotient is what was measured before, but that actually catered to only one or two intelligences, normally the linguistic and logical. And that's the reason why people could not understand why they're not intelligent unless, why no other intelligence was taken into consideration. So it was Howard Gardner who broke that rule and said that IQ is not the only way to actually assess intelligence. There are so many other ways to look at how a person is intelligent, right? And now we're going to look at all those ways, okay? Let's look at all those ways. So first we have the linguistic intelligence. Yes, from the word linguistic, I'm sure all of you know what it means. Who would like to just, you can just unmute and say what it means. Anybody? Anybody who would like to say, what do you think would be linguistic intelligence? Yes, 7 participants have raised their hands. Let me see. Yes, Ella Love. Ella Love is there. Then Joyce, yeah, you can answer. You can unmute and answer. Can you unmute and answer?
Please let me try.
Ask all to unmute and answer. Yes. Who's able? Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, this is Bismarck
Nadia,
once again.
Alice, yeah. Many people have raised their hands. Anybody can unmute and answer.
Yes, please come out with the question again, please.
Yeah, what do you, so can you see the screen? I have put the first intelligence. We're going to look at those 9 intelligences, okay?
Yeah,
That
yes.
actually makes a person, that actually helps a person to realize, once a person realizes these intelligences, they will be able to be successful in life. So we're going to see what are all the intelligences actually present in the brain that we have an opportunity to tap, we have an opportunity to explore. So the first intelligence, as all of you can see, is the linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence. So the question was,
So
who would like to say what you think is
linguistic is
the word
related
linguistic
to language.
stands for?
Yeah, it
Yes, very
stands
good.
for
It's for,
language.
yes,
Language.
perfect. Thank you. Yes, it's for language. So there are so many people in this room who are very good in language, right? Who loves language. And such
Yes.
people are intelligent in the language area. So what would be, yes, so let's go to the next slide of what linguistic intelligence is. It is the capacity to use language. It could be your native language or any other language. Such people who are linguistically smart, they are actually word smart. So you can see that many of our colleagues or many of our family members, some of them are very good with words, right? Some of them can speak very well. Now teachers, if there are teachers here, all the teachers, I'm sure you have to have a good linguistic intelligence because you should have the ability to speak, have a good vocabulary, interact with people, children much more easily. So linguistic ability is very important for speakers, for orators, for trainers. Okay, so we are in that area of educators are in that area where linguistic intelligence should be an important thing to get trained on. So that's a linguistic intelligence. They normally will have large vocabulary, right? And yeah, they'll have a very good vocabulary. So and I'm going to show you what are the carriers that normally relates to linguistic people. So those who are linguistically high, if they know that they're linguistically high and they're good with words, what are the different kinds of carriers that they should be choosing? So this is just an understanding of that. Like you can be an author. Such people who are very good in language love to be either a writer or a journalist, even poets, orators, even politicians, teachers, actors, they speak very well. So what are the skills? What are the skills normally seen in linguistic intelligence? Such people will be very good with language. They'll speak, listen, they can read, they can write very well. Now, all of it need not be the best, but there would be one or two areas which would always be the best for linguistic people. So such people should understand that they're linguistically smart, they're language smart or word smart, and therefore also choose careers that helps to build their talent, and they can definitely excel in such careers. Okay. Now, so why is it important for you as a teacher to know this? Because once you identify a student in your class who is very good in language, we should be able to guide them to the right careers. We should be able to guide them, also teach them in the way they have to be taught. So language people love to read, love to write. We should be able to give them activities related to language. So even if you're a science teacher and you know that children are good in language, some of them are they love to write, you should be able to give them projects where they actually do research and write and find out, because they're very good with words. You should be able to give children opportunity to take seminars in class. So it is all the linguistically high children who would love to take seminars in class, who would love to take sessions like this, like how we are having one. An orator, a speaker would do it very well. Okay, so that's an example. That's the first intelligence, which is, yes, common, and we know that this intelligence is there, and we do have this in our schools also. Next, how do you, just some of the examples of famous people who are linguistically high. So we have the poets like William Shakespeare, Agatha Christie, all the great legends who have written and given us wonderful classics. Okay, so some of the famous people. This is just for you to know. We're just looking at each intelligence from a perspective of famous people, and you can always encourage your children showing examples of these people who are very good in language and who have done very well in life. Because many a times children get upset when they understand that they're not good in math, they're not good in science, but they may be very good in language. So as a teacher, you should be able to encourage them and show them famous people who are language oriented and allow them and open up to them careers and ways in which they can do well, even if they're not good in science and math. So from an educator's perspective, it's very important to guide our children. And that's why the session is for you. And this is how even I have been training children and training teachers also to allow to see a genius in your child. Okay? Now let's go to the next slide. Now, what are the different activities that you as a teacher or you as a facilitator, wherever you are, even if it is with adults, you as a facilitator or you as a teacher, what are the activities you can do with your children, especially for those children who are very good in language? So you can do book reporting, letter writing, right? Telling jokes, writing words, storytelling, discussions. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, you can also, engage in reading.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said that you can also engage them in your reading.
Yes, you can engage them in reading. Very good. So all these are the activities, right? Debating. You can engage children in debating. You can engage children in creative writing. And group discussions are something which language children will really love, because they love to speak, they love to discuss in a group, put out their points, right? I'm sure all of you would be doing this. So these are some of the activities that we normally see, which we can normally do with our children when it comes to a language. It is not necessary that you have to do it in a language class. Even if you are a math teacher, you can always get children who are good in language to discuss about a concept in math, like fractions. So and ask them to give examples by writing something based on fractions or writing a poem. So there are different ways in which you can, it's not necessary that it has to be only in the English class or in the native language class. Okay. Now I'm just admitting some more people, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So that's the end of the first intelligence, that is linguistic intelligence. Okay, the second intelligence, as you all can see, is logical, mathematical intelligence, which we all are very clear about. So I would like one of you to share what could this intelligence be, and probably share such children would be good in what, and what are the possible careers that such children would take. So anybody who would like to raise their hand, I can call upon, and you can give me a view, because these are all things which we know. Yeah, raise their hand. Okay. Alice?
Yeah, hello.
Alice, would you like to unmute and speak?
Yeah, this is Napoleon.
Yeah, I can see. Yes, studying language helps us understand the structure. Okay, good. Yes, I saw what Sena has written. Good. Yes. Yeah, Alice, would you like to tell me something about logical mathematical intelligence that you're aware about, and then we can go forward? Alice has raised her hand.
Yeah, hello.
Or Napoleon is also raised.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is Napoleon.
Yes, Napoleon.
Logical
Yes,
and
Napoleon.
mathematical intelligence deals with the ability of the child to solve logical operations
Yes.
easily.
Yes.
The child should be able to
Right.
also do scientific research and identify solutions to a particular problem in mathematics easily.
Yes,
That is
very
what I
much.
think
Yes.
logical mathematical intelligence.
Perfect. Very good. What do you think would be the careers that you would suggest to a child who is very good in logical math?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, this is Bismarck once again.
They would be interested in analyzing. Yes, I've got an answer from the doctor. Yes, they would be
Yeah.
very good in analyzing. Correct. What else?
Hello?
Yes, you're right. Now let's take it forward. So see, as we can see, logical mathematical intelligence is the capacity to use numbers, right? So all such people who love
Hello?
numbers, who love
Hello?
data. Yes, can you hear me?
Uh,
Yes.
logic,
Am I audible?
logic
Am I
also.
audible? I'm audible.
Hello?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Logic is also talk about reasoning.
Arithmetic. Yes. Yes. Correct. I agree. So
Yeah.
someone who has this kind of intelligence, they would be very good in
Yes.
reasoning, right? Their reasoning skills would be very
Yes.
good. Their questioning skills would be very good. They would love to experiment, right? They would love to experiment, and they would like to analyze, calculate. They would be very good at all that. So such people, what are let's look at the processes in the brain that they have. They will be able to classify, generalize, calculate, categorize, etc. Right? These are all the processes. And what are the possible carriers? There are a huge, good set of carriers for these people. Accountants in banks, actuarians, who are people who look at insurance policies, who look at helping people with their finances, auditors, okay, bankers, yes, business people. So we have an opportunity to show these kind of careers. Actually, even doctors are very analytical, because they're very good in, they are generally good in analyzing and diagnosing and reasoning. So that part of it, they have to be logically good also. Most statisticians, researchers need a lot of data. So anybody who's handling data would be very good logical person. But with a life, from a life perspective, from a life skill perspective, these logical people are also very good in reasoning. They will always want to reason to do something. If there is no reason, then they will not do something. They don't imagine much. They just look for a reason. They find that it's the truth, and then they go about solving their life. So logical people are that kind of people. So, and these are all the careers that probably a logical person can do. And yes, we have some. You can encourage your children by showing some of these famous people in the field of mathematics and the field of logical intelligence: Einstein, Newton, Pascal, Archimedes, etc. So all these great scientists and philosophers were very good in their logical intelligence, and they could really solve much complex problems, and they've done well in life. So this is how we can guide our students who are good in logical math. So the first two intelligences, I'm sure all of you are very much aware, and this is what we normally promote to our children also. So taking this forward, let me go to the next intelligence. But there are many other intelligences which we need to tap in children, right? Second.
Mom, please allow the others in joining in, please.
Somebody is joining. Okay, one second. Okay. Yeah, I'm admitting. So many people have joined, I think. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm just admitting the others also. Admit all. Okay, I've clicked admit all. Yeah.
Please share the link for us. We are not
Can you
getting
see
it.
the screen, all of you? Something has happened to the
We are not
screen?
getting it. We are not seeing the slides.
Oh, you can't see the slides. I'm sorry. Just a minute. I'll just stop sharing and share again. Yeah, just a second. Okay. Okay. Can you okay, can you all see now?
Yes, ma'am.
See now.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. There's something seems to be wrong here. I don't know what happened. Not able to share. Just a second. Okay.
Dr. Meera, I have the famous
Yes.
mathematicians
Yeah, now can you see? Can all of you see the activities?
activities. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm sorry. I don't know. There was something got wrong in between. Okay, so these are the activities normally what a logically smart person would love to do. So if you allow them to analyze, if you give them rational thinking stuff, you give them new projects based on scientific thinking, Venn diagrams, okay, problem solving. They would love to solve any kind of problems. Then if you give them fun puzzles, logic games. So a lot of children love these games, math puzzles, brain teasers, right? So if such children are given brain teasers, they'll do very well and they would be very happy. And also give them any kind of reasoning tasks, they would do very well, right? So I think these two are okay. So these two intelligences, I'm sure all of you are aware of. Let's go to the remaining intelligences, which is also equally important for all children to tap in their life. So we need to look at that, which are all the other intelligences. Okay, so the next is spatial intelligence. Who would like to tell me your view about what spatial intelligence could be? We also call it as visual spatial intelligence. So a child who has very good spatial or visual intelligence, what would he like? What would he or she like? What would they be good at? Anybody? Anybody would like to raise hands for this? Sure, the first two
Yeah, hello.
intelligences was easy. Yes. Yes. Yep. May I know who's speaking? Yes. Three participants have raised hand. Yes, Napoleon, Alice, and I think it's written
Yeah,
Galaxy.
hello.
Yes. Yes.
The child should be able to do visualization of objects from different angles in space.
Wonderful. Yes, very much, very much. Yes. So the spatial intelligent children
And
are your artists, right? They are the painters, they are the artists, they are the designers. Okay. Just think about all those children in your class who are those designers, designer material, who can draw very well, who can make art and craft, who can do make projects models very nicely. Then those who love to uh, use geometry. Okay, so they love if it is coming under the math part, it would be to love geometry, to understand dimensions. And visual spatial people are also very good with directions. Okay, so any of you in this room, in this house, who are very visual, are basically those who love to see their room neat and clean. They would be people who love to look at interior designing. Their houses and rooms and all would be designed very well. And you will keep changing your design in a day, in a week. You would not have your house in the same way. So you need things to be kept in a certain way. So such people are very visually oriented. And we have, what would be the careers? What would be the kind of careers such people would enjoy doing? Anybody? Anybody can raise their hand and speak. Yes, Galaxy A11. I don't think that's your name, but that's what is showing. Yeah, you get so what do you think are the careers which would be best for such children who are very high in spatial visual intelligence?
Hello?
Yes. Yes,
Hello?
go ahead. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
This Napoleon.
Yes, designers. Okay. Yes, it's Napoleon again.
So they can become engineers, they can become
Yes,
surveyors, architects,
very much. Civil engineers. Yes,
urban
engineers.
planners, graphic artists.
Wonderful.
They can also become interior decorator.
Yes.
Hello?
Even photographers. Sometimes they become
photographers. Yes, photographers. Very good, because they would love to take photographs, because they are very image oriented. So spatial people are very image oriented, right? So let's look at what is spatial intelligence. As you can see. Okay, I'm just admitting some people. Georgina.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, they can also become artisans.
Artisans, yes, absolutely. So they work with their hands very well, but for that, kinesthetic should also be there. But otherwise, yes, artisans can also come under this category, because they would have ideas, they would have pictures in their mind, and they make things based on what they see. So spatial intelligence is the brain's ability to perceive and interpret visual stimuli. Visual stimuli means basically images or text, both. In other words, it's also how our mind processes what we see. So people with high spatial intelligence can observe. They will observe very, very minute things in your dress or in the room. Okay, you can just think about children or people. Now, visual children will always look at the teacher, look at the board, look at the teaching aid. So as a teacher, you should always have some teaching aid or a digital board or a video, like how I'm showing you now, a PPT. This is a visual modality of teaching, learning process, wherein you allow people to see and understand. So this is the, the visual ability, visual learning style, where children can see. So those who are visual need to see something. If you're only going to talk, they will not listen to you. They will lose their interest in 15 minutes, and they will switch to, daydreaming. They will switch to seeing something else around and not listen to you. So it's very important as educators that we identify our spatial children in the classroom. And even if you are a parent, you should identify whether your child is really visual. So then you should always show things rather than speak all the time. Okay, so it is applicable in your family, it's applicable in your classroom, it's applicable in your trainings. So that's why when we do trainings, it's so important to show people what you're trying to talk about, right? So that's the spatial intelligence, a very, very important intelligence for us to understand. Just a second, I'm not able to share the screen. Cannot locate the internet server or proxy server. Okay, just a second. Yeah, Edwin, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Meera.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm having some problem in this.
Okay, with the full screen sharing, if it is still proceeding that way, can we proceed this way? Even if not full screen, this is enough. So you can proceed this way manually, ma'am.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you're on slide 19, so we can proceed on slide 19.
Can you all see now?
Yes,
Can you all see now? Okay, so I'll do it this way. I think when I'm putting it on a slideshow, there seems to be some error.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Okay, so next is, yeah, so why is spatial intelligence so important? So careers such as architecture, it's so important to understand the children in your class who loves to draw, who loves to, design. And this is something which we normally don't realize in our children and don't give much importance. So it's very important that we encourage our children to understand that they're visually very high and also have activities spared for them, which will help them to learn better. So let's look at the possible careers, as many of you said: advertising agent, architect, painters, photographers. Okay, so if a child in your class loves photography, please do encourage the child. Engineers, so photography is a very, very good field if they can do very well in that. Graphic designers are very, very important today. Okay, graphic designers and fashion designers are very much needed today, and they do a very good job if they can pursue that. So normally in the schools, we don't do this much, so we don't know. But please check out with your students and understand your visual child and try and motivate them and show them all these careers that they can surely do in their life, right? And this is how, as educators, you can be very happily contributing to your children. Okay, that's the basic idea. Now, next we can go to famous people with high intelligences, with such intelligences. So we have Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, so they were all the very, very international legends in painting. Pablo Picasso, then Steven Spielberg. I'm sure all of you have heard about Steven Spielberg, right? He was the person who actually directed the Jurassic Park. I don't know how many of you would have seen that, but it was a very well-known film for its graphics, right? Agree with me. So, so people who love animation, there are many children who love animation, who love to make cartoons. So encourage that in children and allow that to take place in your classroom. Give a project to such children, and they can surely do a good job there. Next, we can go to bodily kinesthetic. Okay, bodily kinesthetic intelligence is the next one. So from this, it's very clear from the diagrams that you can see. How many of you are kinesthetic? I think many of us love to be kinesthetic. So what is it about being kinesthetic? What is bodily kinesthetic intelligence? It's nothing but using your whole body, using your fine motor, that is your hands. You can be very skillful with your hands, and those who are very skillful with their body are those who are kinesthetically very high. So they love to move. How many of your students, or how many of you have understood from your own life that there are many people who can't sit in a room, who can't sit on a seat for say 1 hour, right? 40 minutes, you allow a child to sit, they may not sit. There are many children who will run around the class, who will keep moving their hands or legs. So these are all the kinesthetic intelligent children. So do not shout at them, do not complain, but allow them to always participate in the class. Tell them to stand up and answer, get them on the board, and let them write and showcase something for you during the class. Because such children are children in their seat. I'm sure all of you will agree with me. Just raise your hands, or you can put in the chat box. How many of you have experienced children who are very kinesthetic in class and you're not able to handle them because they're so kinesthetic? They keep on moving here and there, and they keep on wanting to disturb others also, right? Yes, I'm sure you'll agree with me. But these children have a kinesthetic ability. Yes, they are kinesthetic in nature, and that's the only reason why they cannot sit. So we need to respect that. We need to celebrate that. We need to allow them to understand that it's okay to be kinesthetic. And it is the teacher, it is you, the teacher, who has to actually motivate them or give them exercises, give them activities that will help them to learn the concept and as well as participate in the class and be the leader in the class or do the activity in the class. So in such cases, hands-on experiences, hands-on activities will really work for these children, and always cater to those children that way. So in your class, you will have all these kinds of highly intelligent children in different ways. The kinesthetic children will be your most difficult children because they cannot sit in the class. You agree? I'm sure you agree with me. So as a teacher, you need to know that they love to move. So they will be your dancers, your sports people, your actors, the ones who love to move around, okay? Your drama artists, so all these children are those who are the kinesthetic children. And so they cannot sit in a class without doing something. They have to at least move their, pen, or they will start disturbing the next person unless and until you give them something to do, right? So this is the next intelligence. So such children has to be motivated a lot. Now these children are the ones who are left out mostly. We don't focus on them much. We feel they are trouble in the class. We may even, tell them to go out of the class because they are disturbing the class. But please encourage them. Instead, be positive with them. Give them an activity to do. They'll be happy to do that. When you do experiments, allow them to come and demonstrate in the class. They will do a good job, and they will be very happy with you also, that you understand that they need to move. Okay, so it's because it is an intelligence that is the highest in that child. So then they have to exercise that when they are in the class. And you as an educator or you as a trainer needs to have that. So if we are having a physical meeting, I would actually be allowing you to participate in many activities, and it is basically for the kinesthetic children or the people in this group. So it's very important that, so kinesthetic intelligence is very, very important, and you need to encourage and guide and celebrate children who are kinesthetically high and motivate them. So how can we motivate them? By showing them, by allowing them to do role plays. So if you're an English teacher, you can allow the children to do a role play. So all the kinesthetic children will be very happy to do a role play, right? To drama, to show it in the class. You should allow them to move. You should allow them to speak out. Let them come forward and speak, because the minute they move, their brain starts integrating, their brain starts becoming happier, and their learning becomes much faster, and they will be happy with your class, and they will get the concept also faster. So they normally love to dance, run, jump, build, touch. Even kinesthetic people are very touchy people. They will not sit just like that. They will always like to touch. They like to touch, feel. And that's why in kindergarten, in the smaller classes, we always allow children to get a first-hand experience, right, of the objects. So whatever that you give them, let them have a first-hand feel of it. Let them do an activity. Always allow them to do the activity. Always call out your kinesthetic children first to demonstrate an activity in the class. So it's important to first identify them and then allow them to participate in class with movement. Let them physically move so that they are inspired to learn in your class. Okay, so that's the kinesthetic intelligence children, and they are wonderful children actually, because they really do well in life if you can motivate them, and if you can allow them to understand that that is the area of potential that they have, and they can make very good sports people, like all the actors. The activities that they would enjoy, see, like martial arts, miming, puppetry. Now that's why we show a lot of puppetry in the smaller classes, because in the smaller classes, all the small toddlers are very active. They are mostly kinesthetic in nature. Some of them don't even sit in their seat the whole day. So allowing them to go for field trips, very good. Giving them an exercise. Now, even if your class does not demand an activity where there is movement, at least in between, stop the class, give them an exercise where they are moving their hands and legs, give them a brain gym, okay? Give them a brain gym so that, their left and right brain body coordination is working, and then allow them to sit and listen to you. Because at least that break of 2 minutes is very important for a kinesthetic child to refocus back on the lesson that you're taking in class. So do take care of your kinesthetic children. It's very, very important to motivate them, to encourage them to learn, because they will find it very difficult to learn. Give them a strategy that they can buy a whiteboard in their house and they can write and learn, or they can teach others and learn. They will do that very well because they can move. They can walk and learn. Encourage them to walk and learn at home when they are not sit and learn. Kinesthetic children, if you're going to sit and learn, you will sleep off. Many of us are like that, right? I'm a very kinesthetic person. So I normally walk and learn. If I'm going to sit and learn, I'll just sleep off in 10 minutes. So identify that in your children, guide the parents to say that, okay, you have a wonderful kinesthetic child. And so these are the strategies you can use for a kinesthetic child for learning as a learning pattern, right? So that's about the kinesthetic people. Let's go to other activities that they would enjoy. Okay.
All right, before we proceed, I think you should take this.
And what are the possible career choices? As we all know,
Dr. Meera, I think we should admit some few more in, and
sure.
Then for the sake of those who are just joining in, we are having Dr. Meera Abhimanyu, connecting from India, and she's taking us on multiple intelligence for teachers. And again, Dr. Meera is an educationist and a renowned educationist. She is a psychologist also. She is executive director for Eliza Solutions. Actually, she used very specific and ultra-modern systems in her counseling, services. She used a specific tool called the DMIT. That is the dermatographics multiple intelligence. Dermatographics multiple intelligence test. That is what she uses.
Yes.
That is in line with the fingerprint reach count analysis to decode, the brain, in order to administer much specific and result-oriented counseling services in India. And for the sake of those who are just joining in, this is the profile of the resource person that we have in the house, as she uses this time to admit some other participants in.
Yes, I've admitted everyone. Yeah,
All right.
I've admitted everyone.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. And
Thank
I'm
you
sure
so
we are
much.
all getting our questions ready. Any moment from now, we'll be taking questions and then we will be wrapping it up. Dr. Meera, proceed, please. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so how much time do I have, Edwin? I think we don't can I go for
we
another
have some
10 minutes?
We have some 30 minutes, 20 minutes for the wrap up and then 10 minutes for questions.
20 minutes, yes, sure. We can do that, yeah. So the famous people, 1 minute. Yeah, possible career choices is what we were looking at in terms of kinesthetic. So kinesthetic children would be wonderful if they are actors. They would love to be choreographers. Yes, I think some of you here would know who are dancers. When you dance, you can really be enlightened. You can just dance, and you can, the happiest moment of your life is when you're dancing. So children who love dance should really pursue that as a career, and you should be able to guide a child in that rather than tell them not to do that and come back to studies. So they should do their learning, but always be a very, very motivating teacher and telling them that yes, dance is something which you can really look at in your future as one of your careers. Okay, so being a career counselor, I normally guide all my children not only to look at dance but to look at others also, because you do have other intelligences. But if you are a good dancer, you should never opt out of it, because that would make your brain happy. And one more thing I want to talk about kinesthetic children are that if you can allow your kinesthetic child to play and then come and sit and study, they will do a good job. Allow them to play first, or allow them to dance, or allow them to move first for half an hour. Let that energy, let that physical energy be used up, and then you can get them to sit and study. They would actually do a good job. But if you tell them to study, sit and study, and then go and play, it doesn't work for a kinesthetic child. Okay, it doesn't work for a kinesthetic child. So once you know that your child is a kinesthetic child, allow the child to drain out. Let that energy get used up. The physical energy has to get a little bit used up for the brain to calm down and then sit and learn or read or write. Okay, so I hope you got that point. And yes, let's go to the next, musical intelligence. This is very, very easy to understand. I'm sure all of you would love music. We know that music is divine and everybody would love to hear to music, but some of you in this house would definitely love to sing, and some of you would love to tune or even create or compose music. So you can go to that level of complexity. So musical intelligence is all about rhythm, tonality, pitch, tone, okay? And such people can either you can use instrumental. Such people can, some of them are very good with instruments, and you can do a very good job in playing an instrument. And at the same time, there are other people who love to sing, and at the same but for some, music will be very close to their heart, and they will feel very, very happy or calm or peaceful, or they can you can remove your negative emotions by just listening to a beautiful music, right? I'm sure all of you agree with that. So since we don't have much time, I'm just going to go forward.
Hello?
Yes, I'm sure you all agree with that.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
They have been also saying that music is a food of soul.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely, absolutely. So music is because the music is frequency, right? So we have music is sound, and it is synchronized sound. So why is music very close to the soul? It's because it has got a divine synchronization of energies, and harmonic music can really elevate the soul and the mind. Wonderful. Thank you for that contribution. That was great. And definitely you have to identify such children in your class. You would definitely know who are the musicians in your class, either instrumental, encourage them to take it at least as a second career, if not the first career, but pursue that and learn more. There are a lot of careers based on which you can do well in life. You can be a sound engineer. And as very rightly said, music is a therapy today. There are a lot of people who learn music from a therapeutic, therapeutic level. I also allow my clients to listen to wonderful music before they start a session with me, because then their mind will be calmed down and they will be able to listen and understand and integrate their brain. Right? Yes, so we have a lot of famous musicians. So these are just some of the names of famous musicians. And what are the activities? Of course, for music, it is basically singing. So you can allow children to hum, to sing. So if there's a very tough answer or there is a very tough definition, you can allow children to make a rhyme out of it or make a song which they like out of it from that and sing it like a song. And children who love music can learn it like that. Even children, there are many children who do math. I have seen many children who do maths with the music in their ears, because especially instrumental music, because they will learn much better. So those children who are music smart, you should allow them to have a light music in their background, and if they enjoy that and then allow them to learn that way. There's no harm in allowing children to learn math having a light music in the background if that's what is going to help them learn. So once you identify that, do not say no to it. Allow them to do it, provided they're learning and it is helping them in their learning. Because musically smart children it's very important that we identify that. And if they're very sensitive to music, they will only learn better any subject probably in the background of music. It's also a stress reliever, right? We all know that. So that's about musical intelligence. Next, we come to interpersonal intelligence. All are aware what is interpersonal or social. We don't look much in class, but if you can incorporate activities, that is going to help help build the interpersonal skill in a child. So what is exactly interpersonal intelligence? It is to understand other people. Now see, all of you teachers, educators, counselors, psychologists, we are all supposed to be very high in this intelligence, because it is these people who understand the emotions of others. They understand others' issues, and they're able to put themselves in the place of others. And we love people. We're all very people oriented. Teachers, educators, counselors, we all have to be people oriented. So we love to be in the presence of people. We love to guide people. We love to serve people. And that's our basic intelligence. And if you can be high in interpersonal intelligence, nurturing that in all your children, even if they are low or high, nurturing that in all your children in the classroom is very, very important. And for that, there are a lot of activities which can nurture the interpersonal skill in children. Okay, so such children can be good teachers. So all the teachers come under this category. So dear teachers, your highest intelligence should be interpersonal. Dear counselors, psychologists, educators, trainers, all our we have to keep our interpersonal intelligence the highest. And if normally that would be our highest, because we love to interact and we love to serve. So this is something which is very close to our heart. So I'm sure all of you can very easily resonate with this and understand this, right? So see, they will love to they will always understand students. So these are the leadership material. So the children in your class who are really leaders, I'm sure they should have an interpersonal intelligence in them, and they would love to do group projects. You can make them team leaders. You can make them team leaders in the class, and you can allow them to conduct an interview. They'll be very good in conducting interviews. That's another example. They would be very good in creating rules. They would be very good in organizing. They would be very good in planning. They would be very good in executing, coordinating. Like Mr. Edwin King, he's very good in coordinating. He's a national coordinator. So one of his highest intelligences has to be interpersonal. And that's why he is doing it, because that gives the brain a lot of happiness. And there is a brain discovered by Howard Gardner that is acts, and we are all a part of this intelligence, which is one of the highest for us, for all of us. Okay, so I hope you can understand that. It becomes easier to get it that way. So please do identify all your children who are very interpersonal and nurture them and give them opportunities, allow them to volunteer, allow them to be organizing events in your school, allow them to take leadership, give them, and so we need to do this for up to all our children. Many of them will already take leadership. Those who can't take leadership, do nurture it in them so that later on they can develop it also. So you can be born with it and you can also develop it. There are two ways. There is the acquired way of getting it nurtured within natural way of you loving it. So both this can. So we have the famous interpersonal people are of course all the politicians, the the teachers, the heads of institutions. So and even the saints, Mother Teresa, Oprah Winfrey, Martin Luther King, okay, Anna Hazare, Abraham Lincoln. So all these famous people, Mahatma Gandhi also, but Mahatma Gandhi does come under the intro also. So these are all the people who are famous because of their interpersonal intelligence and because of having explored that and realized that at a global level, right? Now, and we all know these are all the wonderful careers for interpersonal people. So and nurses have to have very, very good interpersonal intelligences. And last but not the least, yes, we have intrapersonal. Now, intrapersonal, I would like all of you to note, how is it different from interpersonal? Would anybody want to give a brief about the difference between intrapersonal? So this is the next intelligence, and again, one of the most important intelligences, intra. What is intrapersonal and how is it different from interpersonal? I'm sure some of you would already be aware. If you can contribute, it would be great to the team. Who would like to contribute to saying what is intrapersonal? What is intrapersonal intelligence? Yes, two participants have shared, Napoleon and Albert. Yeah?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, yes,
This
Napoleon.
is Napoleon.
Yes.
It actually deals with you understanding yourself and ability to adapt in situation easily. You knowing who you are. That is intra.
Absolutely. Very good. So Napoleon is a very, very active participant. Thank you, Napoleon, for contributing. Intra is all about self, yourself, how smart you are. Are you a self-smart person? People who are having a high intrapersonal intelligence would be very strong with what they want. They would know their inner moods. They would know their intentions. They are self-motivated people. I'm sure all of us here are also self-motivated to some extent. So normally people who are leaders, who are staunch leaders like Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, they're all self-motivated. Even if nobody is there with you, you will move forward with your cause. Mahatma Gandhi, he's a high intrapersonal person because he was a visionary. So all such people who are visionaries, who stand for a cause and who know exactly what they're doing, are very, very high in their intrapersonal intelligence. And even the spiritual people, many of the spiritual people will definitely have a high intrapersonal intelligence. They will have a self-discipline about themselves. They will normally have a high self-esteem. They will have a self-understanding. So they're very self-smart people. I hope you're getting it. Those who are hearing it for the first time. So intrapersonal people are the top level researchers. Now see, psychologists, psychiatrists, entrepreneurs also come under this level. Now, especially philosophers, psychology based on people, based on psychology, clergymen, that means the priests, then spiritual counselors, they definitely need an intrapersonal intelligence, which is very high. So you can think beyond just a normal life. Normally intrapersonal people, they know the universe, they know how the universe works, and they are able to connect to the universe easily also. Normally intrapersonal people are also very spiritual. They have the higher understand. They will have a higher understanding of things. They will have higher consciousness, and they will have higher understanding of how to live life more successfully from a very in-depth level. And such people, you can see such children today also in your classrooms, right? I'm sure. There are many children who speak beyond their age. Have you noticed children who speak beyond their age, and they speak big things? They love to contribute to higher, bigger societies. Yes, correct. I hope you agree with me. So a lot of children like that. So and they are actually intra. So but as parents, as teachers, you may have difficulty in handling them because they may not listen to you. Many of us here would have not listened to our parents or listened to our life partners, and we would have moved on with our own goals and our own self-motivated vision. Even if everybody says no to it, we would move forward. So I'm sure such people are the intrapersonal people. So to handle them as children can be very challenging. But the positive side of intrapersonal children are that they are tomorrow's leaders. They are our tomorrow's leaders. They are the visionaries. They are the ones who are going to change tradition. They are the ones who are going to, they're trendsetters. They can change the tradition, change the way people look at life, and they are the ones whom we need as leaders. So as parents and teachers, do not suppress them, do not control them, because you cannot control intrapersonally high people, children especially. So they need to create a self-discipline, but they can be very difficult in their childhood time when they are children. So if we can understand as a teacher that I'm handling an intrapersonal child who's very high in his intrapersonal intelligence, then yes, I'm handling tomorrow's leader, and we need to then deal with that child very differently and not control the child much. Allow him to decide, allow him to look at failures, allow him to be successful because of his own decision, and allow him to fail because of his own decision. So there, the parenting style has to change, the teacher has to change in their style of facilitating. All this has to change for an intrapersonal person. Okay, very important and critical to note. So I would invite all of you to look at an intrapersonal intelligence from a very close level. It's a very important thing also to get. See all these people whom you can see: Helen Keller, Joe Dispenza, Aristotle, Eckhart Tolle. Some of you would have heard about these people. They're all the top level philosophers. And Eckhart Tolle is again one of the very famous spiritual leaders of today's time. Helen Keller, I'm sure all of you would have heard of. Joe Dispenza is also a very contemporary intrapersonal person who's into spirituality and who's also into scientifically proving human potential. So that's intra. And to give you a gist, intra and inter. If your child can be nurtured to be high in intra and also high in inter, every other intelligence can be tapped by the child. So inter and intra intelligences are very important from a educator's perspective and also from a parenting perspective. Always try to nurture your children in those two intelligences, and then they should definitely do well in life. Naturalistic intelligence is, so there are two more intelligences. I'll just quickly go through that. From this naturalistic intelligence, we all know what it means. What is that? Anybody who's connected to nature. How many of you love animals? Raise your hand. How many of you love plants? How many of you love gardening? How many of you love nature? How many of you love the rain? How many of you love the environment? Okay, so yeah, so yes, wonderful. So I can see a lot of raised hands. Yes, Charvi, Dave, Napoleon. Yes. So many of us are, of course, nature loving, but it may not be our first intelligence. It may be something which we like. Many of us here would be there who would see a dog outside and go and feed the dog. So if you see animals around, you would not want to leave them alone. You would always want to give them something because you're so sensitive to the need of an animal. You're so sensitive to the need of a plant. And you can enjoy gardening. You would love to sit out. So for such children, sitting in a four wall of a classroom can be very uncomfortable. So science teachers, math teachers, language teachers, all of you should be able to take such children outside and explore the world and understand the concept. So if you're teaching a poem, allow them to sit in nature and enjoy the poem. If you're teaching about plants, allow them to go about, have a nature walk, identify the plants and do projects based on that so that they're really connected to nature, right? Or do some environment friendly projects. So naturalistic people are those who love field trips, who love nature, who love animals, who love science in general because they are very connected to nature. And we all know that connecting to nature is also one way of identifying yourself with the universe. So being a counselor, being a psychologist, I do tell a lot of my clients who are, people who are in the urban areas, if you're in a building all the time, if you're in an apartment all the time, yes, your mind can get very, very suffocated if you're not connected to earth, you're not connected to nature. So walking on the earth, bare feet, sitting with plants, sitting with animals is a very therapeutic way of um, easing the mind, calming down the mind. Okay, this is from a counselor's perspective. But for children who love to be with nature, most children love to be with nature. Only very few may not be very much interested, or there are children who are scared of animals, so they're not very close to that. They're not able to connect. But then that is to nurture them from an acquired space, right? But otherwise, naturalistic people, they love they are the agriculturists, they are the farmers, they are the fishermen who are really into fishing. And there are so many people who, apart from their cultural background, love fishing and love taking care of animals and breeding animals. It can even be a career tomorrow for so many people. Many of us, I've seen many of my clients who hate to read switching to such careers. Okay, and the last intelligence.
Dr. Meera, please admit participants.
Sorry. 1 minute. Participants. Yeah.
Admit, wait, and participants.
There's somebody to be admitted? I can't see.
Okay.
Is there somebody to be admitted?
Someone sent a message, but that's okay. Let's proceed then.
I think, yeah, there's nobody showing for me. Okay. So the last intelligence is existential intelligence. Yeah. Now this is a new, this is the 9th intelligence, which normally, yes, probably in a school setup, we may not nurture it much, but yes, it is close to intrapersonal, but slightly different from intrapersonal in terms of existential people. Okay, any idea what an existential intelligence would be? This is the newest intelligence which Howard Gardner came up with. It was not there in his initial research, because this is something that cannot be scientifically proved. But yes, from a genetic point of view, I as a counselor, we can understand whether the child is very existential in nature or not. So these are the people who love to talk about life and death, who love to talk about God, who love to talk about life beyond the physical body, who love to talk about spirit, who love to talk about spirituality. So they are very, very close to understanding the universe in its whole. So they talk like that. So all these philosophers and the theologists all come under this category. Okay, so Confucius, Einstein was a scientist, but he was definitely having a very high existential intelligence, because he was able to go beyond the physical realm. If you can go beyond the physical realm and experience the universal realm, then yes, you're a person who can understand what existential intelligence. You have a high existential intelligence. Okay, that's pretty much what an existential intelligence child would think. So such children would always talk about God, would talk about spirits, would talk about ghosts, would talk about life after death. Okay, and they will be very intrigued. They will love to talk about such things. They will be very mystical in their nature. Yes. Yes, correct. Okay. Then we have, and what are they? They are basically called wandering smart kids. Wonder kids, wandering smart. Wandering smart means they keep wondering, pondering. These are some of the questions that an existential child would ask. Why are they on earth? Why am I on earth? They will ask you, what is my purpose on earth? Who am I? Who am I? What the world was like before they were born? What life might be like on another planet? They would want to know if there is life in another planet. Okay, how many of you and how many of us in this house thinks like this? I'm sure many of us would be loving to know all this. Yes, and where do pets go after they have died? Do ghosts exist? Are they ghosts and spirits? How many of you love this? I used to love this. I love this kind of questions. Yes, I'm sure many of us here would also love to. It's enchanting for us. We love to know all these things. Yeah. So this is the last intelligence, the 9th intelligence, that is existential intelligence, which some people can have. So the healers, the therapists, the healers, who can actually go beyond and see beyond and people who talk to the dead, who can bring the who can bring the spirit of the dead. So all such people are these existential people. With this, we intelligences, and this is exactly what human potential is all about. If we as educators and counselors and psychologists or trainers can tap these intelligences from people and allow them to explore their highest three intelligences at least, definitely any child or any human being can be successful by understanding their genius potential and understanding what are they high in, and nurturing that is our responsibility, and that's all that we need to do. So when I do my counseling services, I really enjoy bringing this out in people, making them realize that these are the intelligences that are really high in them, and these are the intelligences that is going to help them build a good career, because that is what they're here for, and we can allow them to see their life purpose. So we can call these 9 people as nature smart, the naturalistic people smart, the interpersonal people, number smart, the logical people, picture smart. So there are schools in across the world where children identify themselves as, oh, I'm a body smart person, I'm a music smart person. So they know that that is their genius potential. I'm a word smart person. So it is not just for the word smart and the number smart children that schools are for. Schools should also be for all the other intelligences. It should also be for the picture smart children. It should be for the self smart children. You should have a lot of activities for the intrapersonal children, because otherwise they'll be bored with you. They'll be bored with school. They would not want to come to school. Okay, so these are the different ways in which a child can be smart, different ways in which a human being can look at his potential. And today, in this era of science and technology, we have a wonderful tools to identify this in people, to guide people, serve them, show them what they are here for, and allow them to grow and nurture themselves and explore their highest possibility, through multiple intelligences. And that's basically what I do in my country, and also wherever, with whomever possible, who would like to approach me and get guided. So we have, as Edwin had just said, I use the tool called dermatoglyphics multiple intelligence test. So this is to identify your inborn MI. You can identify your inborn MI. What are you born with? What is the MI that you're born with? Can be identified. The Jiva Career tool using MI is something that allows you to understand your career based on MI. So that, as I showed you, there are so many careers based on the highest intelligence that you have. And we also help a lot of schools to implement multiple intelligence-based lesson plans for teachers in their classroom through a platform. So we have a software platform that we allow teachers to use in schools and guide children by making lesson plans for their subject and allowing all these activities to play in their class and explore and tap these intelligences through the lesson plans. So these are 3 of the major areas in which I work. And yes, I think, Edwin, we are almost timed out. I would like to really thank Mr. Edwin for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I would also like to thank some more people, who are behind the scenes, but they have really taken a lot of effort. So first, let me thank Mr. Edwin King. He's the National Coordinator of Bridge IT. It was a wonderful experience to interact with him. Training Center in Ghana, the Bridge IT Training Center in Ghana. I would also like to thank Mr. Rajesh Dev, the Indian Director of Bridge IT Training Center in Ghana. I would extend my gratitude to Shyama Iyer ma'am, who is the National Coordinator of the Spoken Tutorial in India, IIT Mumbai. I would also like to thank all the hardworking team. I'm sure there's a wonderful team behind working towards achieving this goal of sharing knowledge and allowing people to grow and bring out their unlimited potential. So I'm very grateful to all the hardworking team of the Spoken Tutorial in Ghana, Liberia, and Nigeria. And finally, I want to thank each and every participant. Many of you have really contributed to the session, and since it was an interactive session, how much ever I could make it interacting, I have tried my best, and many of you really participated through chat and also by giving your contribution to what you know about the topic. So I hope all of you enjoyed and all of you got some takeaway. I can definitely share this PPT, which has all the activities for each intelligences that you can use in your classrooms. And possibly if you can give me another chance, I will be very happy to also showcase the tool, also give you an understanding of how to make a lesson plan. You can learn how to make a lesson plan using MI. You can learn how to identify the career for children based on MI. So basically identifying the intelligences is important, and then guiding the child or guiding the human being is important. So definitely we can have more sessions in depth. Today it was just an introduction, just to showcase or to bring out what this concept is all about. Why is it so helpful for teachers? How can a teacher look at his or her child from a multiple intelligence perspective and bring out that genetic potential or bring out that potential from an intelligence perspective and change our perspective towards our children. So for me, there is no weak child. There is no weak child for us. There is no child who's weak. A child can only be lower in an MI and higher in other MIs. Every human being has the first 3 MIs will be the highest for them, and it goes in gradation. So it is our responsibility to identify which are those high MIs for each child in my class. So we as a team in India help teachers and management schools to identify that, profile the child based on that, and then nurture the child through those 12 years, 14 years in school based on their highest MI. So we do that, and that helps the child, the parents, to be extremely happy with knowing their talent and then nurturing it in their life. Thank you so much once again. Over to you, Edwin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Meera Abhimanyu. Thank you so much. We say bahut shukriya, bahut dhanyavad. It has been.
Dhanyavad, bahut shukriya.
And
so, are we here for some more questions, or probably I can definitely stay back for some questions?
Definitely, it is definitely going to be question time. Before we proceed, we are really honored, and I'm sure my colleague participants are also highly honored, and we've really broadened our scope this morning. It's still morning in Ghana, of course, definitely. So without wasting more time, before we wrap up, I think we'll be taking questions as of now. And
Sure.
Of course, I also have a few questions, personally. So again, we're going to take some few minutes and then, address questions. And let me get started. My first question is, of course, you touch on the kinesthetic intelligence. These children who are constantly, just being active in the classroom, they can't just sit at one place and all that. Sometimes they can be very nerving. How can we handle them together with others so that they do not distract the other colleagues in the class in terms of the kinesthetic kind of
Yes. Yeah, so that's the biggest challenge normally for all of us. So I'll give you an example. So there are many ways of doing it. Now it is normally in the lower sections, that is in the kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So in the primary section, yes, they would just not listen to you and they would walk around the class. They would disturb the other child. But as they grow, normally a kinesthetic child will have a self-discipline. So normally in the higher classes, we can still give them other things. But for lower classes, it would be best to give them a timeout. Okay, so what we do is, we tell teachers to give them a timeout. So we keep an area for these kinesthetic children at the corner of the class where we have some puzzles, and we allow them to do that puzzle for 10 minutes or 15 minutes before they come back to the class, because otherwise they're going to disturb the whole class. That's one strategy. For kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 children, this is what we do. We can have a corner in the class where there are certain activities, like where they have to, these block activity or a puzzle. You can allow them to do something first, and you give them a timeout for 10 minutes, and then once they are happy finishing that puzzle, they'll be okay to come and sit. And that's the best you can do for very, very small children. For bigger children, yes, you can allow them to go and take a round, or you can actually ask them the question. You can ask them to come forward and write on the board the answer to something that you were discussing in the class immediately. Just give them that 2 minutes, let them get up from their seat, allow them to move, basically. So bigger children, just allow them to move switch your strategy of teaching from 10 minutes of a lecture to a written activity, or to an activity where the kinesthetic child comes to the board and writes, remaining others are writing in their books. So switching activities is very, very critical. And even if that doesn't work, allow them to sit at the back. They should not be made to sit in the front then, if they're very big children and they're creating a chaos. Yes, allow them to sit at the back. Maybe they can walk at the back. We have done that in a class where a very kinesthetic child who just cannot sit, you allow the child to walk at the back, to and fro. He can hold his book and walk at the back, so that he's there in the class. The children are also there in the class and they are not worried about him. And he's also allowed to move if it's that serious. But there's one more thing, Edwin. You need to differentiate between a hyperactive child and a kinesthetic child.
Okay.
Okay. A hyperactive child has a condition. So there is a condition. For a hyperactive child would be very difficult to handle. So in such cases, if it is extremely severe, then it is not just about being kinesthetic, it's also a hyperactivity of the brain, which then has to be calmed down through medication. So only in cases where you can't handle any of these strategies, doesn't work with the child, then yes, you do have to show to a very professional psychologist, identify whether he is hyperactive actually and not just kinesthetic, and then guide the child. Probably he would have to have a little bit of homeo medication, or not much. I normally don't recommend psychiatric medication. We have an option of giving homeo or Ayurveda, so that there is no side effects, and then the child can have the medication and sit in the class if it is that severe.
Wow, thanks so much. Thank you very much. Before I ask my next question, I'm sure other colleagues are also having some questions. Please, if you have any question, you can use your microphone, or you can use the chat box. As we wait for questions, of course, let me share a few feedbacks coming in, Dr. Meera. Coming from, I think coming from Sam Ofo. Thanks to you, Doc. I have learned so much. I've learned so much to help my learners at school and at home. That is a warm feedback coming from Sam Ofo. Please, if you have any question, you can keep your question coming in. And then, wow, I have from Infinite Hot 8. I'm sure definitely that is his code name. God bless you. I've really learned a lot. That is coming from Infinite Hot 8. And then also from Madam Patience. This is insightful and educative, coming from Miss Patience Addy. And a few other ones we have here. Dr. Meera, is it possible to share your, of course, we're going to share, we're going to make the slides available. We're going to make certificates available. We'll try our best also to make the video recordings available. All the details will be given in our WhatsApp group, basically. So just stay tuned. All these details will be given. And those who would like to, Dr. Meera will be coming back for other intriguing sessions. So those of you who would like to have one-on-one with her also and all that, we're going to work out the modalities for that also. So let me take some few feedback that you proceed. Okay, this is coming from Mr. Sweet Gideon Latte. Mr. Latte is saying, thanks, Doc. Our educational colleges need serious revamp, because I can see sometimes how teachers dump kids. I think I'm just, let me just take that.
Yes, they dump children, yes.
Who are not, to them academically responsive. So that's coming from Salate. He's thanking Doc that, of course, when he's talking about our educational colleges or institute, I'm sure he's referring to Ghanaian, Ghana educational colleges. So we need a serious revamp over there, definitely. And coming also from Mr. Sapong, College Sapong, of course. Okay, definitely I've answered that already. We're going to share the details. And again, from Sweet Gideon Latte, of course, he's thanking the organizers. Thank you for giving me such an opportunity. I wish to learn more. We are most grateful that you are benefiting from this. And of course, it's all about knowledge sharing. And we hope others also make use of it. Another one, let me take from ITEL S15. And thank you very much for opening most of us our eyes on this day, and God bless you. That's going out to you, Dr. Meera. And
thank you so much.
Of course, some are also requesting for the presentation. Don't worry, we are going to Emmanuel said, I am humbled by your presentation, and I would be glad to have your mail and WhatsApp line. Definitely, all these details will be given out in the platform, basically. And then coming from Ben Newama, and he's like, it's a great experience it's a great experience. Thanks, Doc. It's a great experience. Thanks, Doc. This is also going out to you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Meera again. And from Teacher Nana, this is very wonderful and educative. Thank you so much, Teacher Nana. And of course, the feedbacks are just pouring in, Dr. Meera, on and on and on. And I'm happy our participants.
I'm humbled, yes. Thank you so much.
From Napoleon Achu, yeah, one of our most active participants, Mr. Achu.
Yes,
Napoleon.
yes. Today Napoleon was very famously active. Yes, I was keeping on calling his name. He ended up answering all my questions.
Oh yeah, definitely. He really, kept the session interactive. This is a great lesson. I am a teacher, but realize I will use this in my, parenting style. Thank you all.
Very much.
Thank you so much, Napoleon Achu. Thanks so much for that. So in what he's saying, definitely not only in the teaching field, but he's going to use this also in his parenting.
Absolutely.
I think
Yes,
that's
very important.
coming from Tamaklo Wisdom, Doc, you've really elevated my level as a teacher. I am grateful. Thank you so much, Mr. Tamaklo Wisdom. And that's also going out to you, Dr. Meera. As I stated, the feedbacks are just pouring in. Yes. And I think the list is very much long. From Emmanuel, I am humbled by your presentation and will be glad to have your email and WhatsApp line. Definitely, we're going to make those also available for one-on-one discussions. This is a great lesson. Let me take some few and then. All right, so we can go on and on and on. Please, can you add me to the WhatsApp group? Yeah, those who don't have the WhatsApp group line, if you don't have the link, you can just take these numbers down. You can just WhatsApp these numbers. Then we will send you the link for you to join the WhatsApp group. So just write these numbers down. Of course, Ghana lines 024-8898-721. I take it again, 024-8898-721. Dr. Meera, please admit some few people who has dropped on the way from me. You can admit some few people for me. You can,
I have admitted everyone. Yes,
okay, so
I'm still admitting.
Probably take this number also, 055-919-3907. I take that again, 055-919-3907. You can just WhatsApp these lines that you want to join the group, basically, and we will add you, strictly in the WhatsApp group. And again, as I stated, certificates will be made available, which will be endorsed by Dr. Meera Abhimanyu herself, definitely for, of course, references. I'm very happy that most of our participants today educationists, teachers and the like, and definitely this will be very nice for their portfolio. We're going to make the slides, the PowerPoint slides, and then the certificates available. And please, in the WhatsApp group, the details will be given. Those of you who wish to get a certificate and then the slides, it will be going out for a fee of 30 cedis, a fee of 30 Ghana cedis. So you kindly take note of that. Basically, all details will be shared in the WhatsApp group, definitely. All right, let me take some few. I will be sharing an attendance link for us to ensure that, we keep track of all those who have attended today's lectures. Last week, we had a little issue in terms of feedback links that were not available. So everybody was pushing in to get a certificate, and we know the records and all that. So to avoid that today, I'm coming to share in a feedback link right now. Just click on the link, in the chat box. If I share it, I will let you just fill it out, and we proceed from there in terms of those who are qualified for the certificate and all that. Because of course there are others who couldn't join because of network, but we wouldn't like to just hand out the certificate to others. Please, I know you have few questions before I interacted with the feedbacks. Please, if you have any question at this point, you can use the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and speak over the microphone. Thank you very much. It's question time. Let's have some few minutes of questions.
Sure.
If you have any question, you can just use the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and we proceed from there. Any question at all that you would like to ask? Before we proceed, of course, as we wait for other questions, Dr. Meera, is it possible that students, a student can have as much as almost all these intelligences. And my second question is, can it be possible that maybe because of a particular intelligence, a student will not be able to do very well or perform well in maybe a particular subject? Can a particular intelligence be a blockade for a student probably not to be good in maybe writing or algebra or anything like? Is that possible, Doc?
Yes. So to your first question, my answer is that every human being has all the 9 intelligences.
All the 9 intelligences.
Yes, every human being, because it's the brain of the human being and it's been found in every human. So every human, we all have all the 9. That's a very important point to get. We all have all the 9 intelligences, but the percentage of activation of the brain towards a particular intelligence is what makes us different and unique. So we are all unique in our own ways because the percentage of the intelligences based on what we are high in is different for different people. And that's how we are different, right? I hope that answers your question. So definitely there are a lot of children where probably their highest intelligence would be, say, linguistic, would be interpersonal, and maybe would be musical, and the remaining would be below that. And if a child with higher other intelligences have logical intelligence as a very low intelligence, then it is those children who would not show naturally the ability to do math well, for example. So you do have an opportunity to nurture that at a younger age. So what we say as a counselor, or what I would say as a psychologist, is from birth to age 25 years, you have all the opportunity to nurture all your weak intelligences. There is no need to not nurture it. You can definitely nurture it because you are born with something that is high, and you may be born with something that is not very high. For example, you may be born with high language, high, musical, and high, maybe kinesthetic intelligence. But you may be not born with a very high logical intelligence that may be low for you. But you do have an opportunity of 14 years of schooling and even colleging after that to nurture that. The only suggestion I would give is never look at maths as a career path. It's only that when you look at a career, do not choose an intelligence that is not naturally high for you. You should choose an intelligence that is naturally high for you, which comes out of without any stress. If you can do something very well, if you can sing very well without stress, take it as one of your careers. You would be living a very happy life. No?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I think Napoleon also wanted to ask similar question. And of course, I've touched on that. So, okay, let's take this question from, the question is, Dr. Meera, how do we activate this intelligence in management of one subject? Is there any way that you can trigger it? Like, how do we activate some of these hidden intelligence that we have in us, Doc?
Activities that we do in the classroom and that we do outside the classroom. That is, you have the scholastic activities, and as a teacher, I'm sure you also conduct co-scholastic. That is the extracurricular, extra activities. All these activities are in a school, from a school perspective, are the activities that you allow your children to be in. So once they participate in all activities which are catering to all the intelligences, then definitely you are exploring that in them and you're allowing them to nurture that in them. That's exactly what you're doing. I'm sure all of you are doing a lot of activities in school, not aware that every activity that you do is allowing the child to tap his or her intelligence. At least 2 or 3 intelligence would be playing their high, and you're allowing that child to do that. So if you allow a child to be a leader in the class or a leader in the school, you are exercising interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence of that child. But do it with all the children. Give opportunities to maximum children to nurture all the intelligences. Create MI clubs. So create a club for every intelligence and bring out all the activities are there. So you can bring out these activities, make lesson plans for them, get children to be a part of those activities and get them to do the activities. You need to be only a facilitator. And then you can actually evaluate that. So we have rubrics. What we give a school is, we give a platform where all this is recorded. You score the child, You identify based on indicators of these activities, and we can give you a profile of the child, of which all activities the child is naturally high in, and which all the child is not very naturally high in or not very happy to do. It can be done. That's what we do. We should be doing in a school.
Right. Thank you so much. I'm sure others have questions, but time will not allow us to take all the questions. But let me take the last question from Mr. Latte. Sweet Gideon Latte is asking, how do I become a facilitator of such school of thought to change lives and attitudes of teaching, staffs, basically, Dr. Meera?
So, yes, so there is a curriculum, and that's something which I train on. So this is just the first step of knowing what MI is. And the next step is actually learning how to make a lesson plan. You need to learn to make a lesson plan, period-wise lesson plan. Well, we do train teachers to learn how to make an MI lesson plan. So when you make a lesson plan of 7 periods of a chapter based on MI, you're already becoming that. And you're definitely going to nurture that in your child.
All right.
So it is just to get that. I mean, that's the training. There is a training to be done for that.
All right. Frankly speaking, I think we have a lot to learn from Dr. Meera, and already some people are requesting that there need to be a playback, or there need to be a comeback of Dr. Meera. Definitely. Sure. I'm sure you agree with me that we're going to schedule another session with Dr. Meera. She's touching on very important point that it's just not going to be today that we're going to use to absorb that. So if you want us to invite Dr. Meera again, you can just type yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box if you want us to invite Dr. Meera again. If you want us to, invite Dr. Meera again, okay, I'm getting the yeses already. Some with a lot of A's. Oh my goodness, Dr. Meera. So wonderful. Definitely you are coming back again. Much. So
my pleasure.
We're going to, oh, okay, that's a lot of yes over there. All right, please, the yes is okay, so that we can see some of the questions, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, for the sake of time, we're gonna pause it here. And as I stated, I'm going to share an attendance link so that we want to keep good track of all those who attended the session, so that we can share the certificate accordingly. And Dr. Meera, don't go, please. Yeah, so that is that. Certificate will be made available. PowerPoint slides will be made available. And then, of course, we'll try as much as possible if we can make the video recordings also available. I've mentioned some numbers. For those of you who are not in the WhatsApp group, also can join the WhatsApp group. Next week, Saturday, we have another mind-blowing webinar. And even tomorrow, some of our participants are going to have a webinar, I think, in a graphic-related webinar with one of our resource persons. These are spoken tutorial participants. So I'm going to touch on that, a little bit, basically. But before we go, again, I'd like to thank all of you for, being active till now. The attendance link is the last thing I'm going to share. Of course, let me thank Richard Obeng, of course, being very regular, Lukman and everybody, of course, Napoleon and everybody who have connected. I would like at this point to thank, of course, Dr. Meera, Abhimanyu, of course, highly experienced education.
Yes, thank you so much.
And then, of course,
my
she's
pleasure.
a psychologist also, and counseling director of Laser Solutions in India. Of course, it has been an honor and privilege. And I would like to thank also our hardworking team, both in Ghana, in Liberia, and in Nigeria. Of course, I would like to thank colleagues like Mr. Richard Amati, Mr. Ashraf Elias, Madam Shine Clever, of course, our Monsieur Mazar Kamea Balo. I'd like to thank all others who are playing very active roles, not forgetting Madam Beauty Ayuka, Madam Jemima Christ, and all. From our Nigerian team, I'd like to thank the team leader in Nigeria. I'm talking about Spoken Tutorial Nigeria, in person of Miss Ali Sharifat Ali. And in Liberia also, we'd like to thank our team leader in Liberia, Pastor Martin Pay. They are doing a great job there. And for the sake of those who might not be aware, I'll touch a little bit on Spoken Tutorial briefly. Again, all those doing a great job behind the scene. I'd like to thank our secretariat, handles, of course, Harrison, Miss Hazel, Mr. Harrison, and of course, Bless Afe, and all doing a great job. All those doing a great job in down there. We say a big thanks to you. I will be, requesting our colleague, our Indian director in Ghana, Mr. Rajesh Dave, of course, to give us a few words before we wrap up. Now, Mr. Dave, before we continue, please, can we, have some few words from you, Mr. Dave?
Hi, everyone. It was really nice to, have this session. In fact, I was stick to, the whole session, and I was listening, and it's very, it's an eye opener in a way that, the same exams are being, taken for evaluating the kids who has a different intelligence. And it's really nice that, means we all realize that we all are being born with some or the other intelligence. And, it's a time that schools and, the universities also acknowledge this and starts nurturing, kids into the different intelligence. And it's really good to have a kickstart. And thanks, Ms. Meera, for, taking such a wonderful session. And it's, as King says, that it's a curtain raiser. We will keep on, inviting you for time and again. Thanks for everything.
Thank you so
all.
much. Thank you so much, Raju sir.
Thank you so much, Shrimanji Rajesh Dave. Thank you so much. Shrimanji, namaskar. How is Ghana?
Hey, Ghana is good, and I'm being, having a hospitality from King, the Shimanji King, who is always taking care of me. And it's very wonderful experience in Ghana.
Thank you so much for having a good time in Ghana. I'm sure you're going to invite Dr. Meera one of these days to come and eat all the lovely Ghanaian foods. Definitely. Thank you so much, Shrimanji Rajesh Dave. And before we wrap up, as I stated earlier, I'm going to share the feedback link so that you can all fill it out, and then we're going to keep, but very important, announcement I want to give, very, very important. We are very fortunate to go into a collaboration, being in affiliation with one of the top-notch universities in India. I'm talking about IIT Bombay. Dr. Meera, I'm sure you know how high-ranked IIT Bombay is in India, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, in India, the IITians are the most revered and the best professionals and the most respected group of education. I mean, the highest education. A child or a parent would always want their child to learn from an IIT or become an IITian. It's one of the most prestigious institutions in India.
Thank you so much. They are the most prestigious institute in India, and that is much heartwarming. And we happen to be the first in the whole of Africa to have an affiliation with IIT Bombay, bringing down to our doorsteps a system called Spoken Tutorial, where you can just sit from the comfort of your bedroom or your home or your couch or wherever you are and undergo a 2-month IT training course without the use of the internet connection. That's amazing. Yeah, when a lot of people heard this, they were like, wow, how is it possible? But as Dr. Meera stated, IITs, they are one of the best in India. And this course system is put together by one of the best brains, led by, Professor Kanan Mogalia of IIT Bombay. And of course, from database, to web development, to software engineering, all the major programming languages like Python, C++, Advanced C++, Java for Business, Django, Drupal, and all the major, sophisticated, software engineering packages. And also, whether you have a little knowledge in IT or not, whether you can even hold a mouse, there is a course for you. It's a 2-month course. First batch have already, started their session. We have opened registration portals for the second batch of participants. They've started registration, and registration, thanks so much, Dr. Meera, for making the host. Registration will be ending 31st of October, 2020, of course. 31st, so from the whole of this month, all Ghanaians especially, who have not yet registered for the spoken tutorial courses, all you need to do is to get registered. The course fee is 300 cedis. There is no other payment. At the end of the whole program, there is a final exam attached. So whether you want to go into database administration, whether you want to sharpen your IT skills as a normal person, whether you want to go into web development and get a certificate that is recognized from one of the best, universities in the world, in India. I've been telling my colleagues, when it comes to some of these areas, our Indian brothers and sisters are doing a great job. So there is a need for us to learn from them. Just as we've invited Dr. Meera to broaden our scope this afternoon, there's a lot you need to learn from others. You know, they are much better in some of this intelligence. So let's learn from them. There's no, shame in that, basically. So if you've not, again, I am sharing the numbers in the chat box so that you can just, take note of them, and then you can reach out, and then get much details about the spoken tutorial. These are the numbers that you can use. I think the last number, there's a little mistake in the last number, so I'm going to, re-type it again so that you can get that one very, very much clear in terms of the numbers that you need to, get connected on for details of the spoken tutorial courses in Ghana. So again, 024-889-8721. I'm sharing those numbers again so that you can, get more details about the spoken tutorial courses. I'm sure these are the right numbers now. Basically, you can write these numbers down. These are the same numbers that you're going to use for the certificate also. And these are the same numbers that if you want to know more about this spoken tutorial thing, no internet required. How do you get the certificate, an accredited university certificate worldwide? You can call those numbers, and of course, they will, get back to you on that. Registration is in process. There is no additional payment apart from the course fee payment. There's no registration fee payment. It's only the course fee that you're going to pay, definitely. And yes, that is that. On these notes, I'm very sure that we are a bit, we've exhausted our times, basically. I thank all of you for, making time out of your busy schedules, to be part of today's session. And not to forget, I want to share the attendance link for us all to, have before we go. So within some few minutes, I'm going to share the link so that we can have access to it before we proceed, please. Again, as I wait for the link, you can just share with us if you have anything you want to say or anything at all. You can just share with us, and then we will be happy to read. Just give me some few seconds, and then I'm gonna share the feedback links for you to have. Just in a very, very jiffy. I'm gonna share the link in the chat box, and you just have to click on it, and then you fill the form for us to be sure that you have actually, attended today's lectures. All right, so just a minute. The link will be shared any more from now. All right, so the link has been shared. Just click on the link and fill the. All right, sorry, I think I'm rather making it private. So now it's public. The link has been shared. Just click on the link and then you fill the form. You just have to click on the link. And then you fill the form, and for us to be sure that yes, you've actually attended today's lecture, so that we don't just give out the certificates just like that. Take your time and fill it out. The links has been shared. We'll share it again in the. Please, do you have any feedback from anyone? Anyone want to say something before we go? Within the next 1 minute, please. Any feedback? Any feedback? Today we had up to, I think 60, the highest we had, I think 65 attendees for today's session. Oh, okay, Madam Patience, Lupeza, of course, Madam Patience, always being very, active. Thank you so much, Madam. So that is the link. The link has been shared. All you need to do is to click on the link, you fill the form, and then you submit, and we're going to take all those records, basically. Do we have any comment from anyone before we end today's lectures? Do you have anything that I have to touch on? All right. Okay. From Mr. Sharvi Dave. Mr. Sharvi Dave's very enlightening seminar. Thank you so much, Mr. Dave. We are most grateful for your warm, your warm feedbacks. Thanks so much, Madam Patience. Thanks a lot for the educated session. Thank you so much, Madam Patience, Nukweza, and from Samuel, Okwabi. Nice experience. Thank you so much for all your warm feedbacks. We really appreciate that. Certificates will be ready by, within the next 48 hours. We're going to compile all certificates, PPT slides, and all that, basically. So be rest assured, we will definitely make those available. Tomorrow, there's another session for some of the spoken tutorial participants. Saturday, there is another session, and we are going to plead with Dr. Meera again so that we can get a very conducive time and then she's going to come back, and then we're going to proceed from there. Those of you who would like to connect with her also one-on-one and all that, you can just, channel your requests through the WhatsApp groups. And then someone is asking, the feedback links are many. Which one? They are all the same. I've just duplicated so that, it can be more visible. You can just click on it. Any of the feedback links will take you to the attendance page for you to fill your forms. Thank you so much. Dr. Meera is also thanking us so much. That is so great. And someone is also thanking.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
And from Wisdom Madam Senna, thanks to the organization. Thank you so much. I think this is all time will allow us. If you permit me, can we thank the Almighty God, for being with us till now? Shall we pray? Father, we thank you so much for this wonderful afternoon. And we are most grateful that you've been with us. We are constantly still broadening our scope, even in these hard times. We say glory be unto your name in the Most High. Again, we pray you will continue to protect us till we meet again. We thank Dr. Meera for sharing her valuable time with us. We pray may you continue to bless her so much. May you nourish her. And the next time we invite her, she will even give us more and more and more. Thank you so much, Father. And this we ask in Jesus' name. I pray with thanksgiving. Amen and amen and amen. If you believe in that, you can just type amen in the chat box. It has been an amazing time with you. You can just type amen in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much, B. Addison. Thank you so much, Aka. And thank you so much for the amen response, Wisdom Adam Senna. Thank you very much. Dr. Meera also said amen. Wow, that's great. Dr. Meera, Abhimanyu, thank you so much. And that is so encouraging. Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody. Again, my name is Edwin King. I have been your host. Next week, definitely we're going to see you again. Again, I thank the entire Bridge IT team, Spoken Tutorial team. I thank everybody for making this possible. I thank everybody, John Asante, Bernard, Boateng, everybody, Bridge IT, the entire team. We are most grateful. Thank you very much, Francis Fiagbo. Thank you so much, Sean Clever. Thank you so much, Richie Ayuka. Thank you so much, Francis Fiagbo again. And all that, we are most grateful. Please, if no other thing for me to touch on, I'll share the link for the last time. I wish you all the best. Within the next 30 seconds, we will be ending the session. And it has been an honor and a privilege. Right here from the Mai Oti region, I have been your host, and I'm really grateful for your time. If no other thing, I am ending the meeting. Dr. Meera, do I have the permission to end the meeting now?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meera.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And
God bless to all of you.
Thank you.
Do wonders. Do wonders for your children.
Thank you very much, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
All right.
Thank you, organizer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you
All right.
so much for the time. Thank you so much. Get connected to the WhatsApp. Thank you, Albert Banza. Thank you, Suleiman. Thank you all. And bye for now.